All right, might as well start this. Hello, this is Dave. This is my What's Up Dave stream, which is the this week at least daily stream I'm doing covering things of interest to me. Specifically, this week I am rebooting my priorities, and with that, that means I'm dropping a lot of habits, changing some goals, and stuff like that. Let me just turn off this sound over here. Let's switch over to the chat view. So, and what do I mean by rebooting my priorities? Well, I've been doing a bunch of habits, and I have a ton of stuff that I want to do related to work, related to my own personal projects. Like getting up doing like the version 4 or 5 of my website, so it better expresses the needs that I have. Which are to create a kind of online research notebook that I can think on and publish on at the same time. I'm currently using WordPress, and WordPress with all its security issues and its general sluggishness these days. Unless you have a pretty beefy server, WordPress runs slow even on my MacBook Pro, just with all the database stuff that's happening. It's kind of ridiculous. So moving to a static site system would be an ideal thing. But anyway, I'm just feeling like I need to change up some systems, and since I just finished my Groundhog Day resolutions report for September 9, this seems like a good time to do it. So let's get to it. So I'm going to switch to screen view here, and I'm going to pull up, well, I guess I can just pull up this thing. This is a utility called Unclutter, and I've been storing the continuity for What's Up Dave in the video descriptions. So that means I'm going to pull up a browser. Let's see, and I'm going to make a thingy like this. And I guess I'll go to my videos section and see what I wrote yesterday. The stream is in process now. I guess I can just edit it. So I'm saying I am back to, this is what I said I did yesterday. These are the notes I wrote, so I'm going to just copy those. And I'll close this again. Leave. And then let's go back to here. And I just got to paste yesterday's continuity in this thing so I can see what I wrote. So blah, 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 blah. Yesterday I decided to declare the intention to close the chapter on many projects. Okay. Continuity. Closing chapter on projects, and immediate goals, close out. This is like the meta theme to close out the chapters on the projects, just to reduce the burden of stuff that's on my mind. So I'm suspending a bunch of routines. Maintain diet. So let's make a list of things. So plus diet. Right now minus gym 3 days, but we're going to move to a gym 5-day next week, or maybe even a 7-day next week. And then there's also the whole things with this is like another meta. So the meta is conviction. And I wrote about what these meant in that blog post, which I'll look at in a second. Conviction, confidence, and self-leadership, I think, was the third one. And the cat has been annoyed by my goal setting. So I'm finally figuring out what all this stuff means. So I've rewritten the continuity as this. Now let me take a look at the blog post again. Let's see over here. And davidsa.com. Oh, I didn't update the caption on this. I thought I did already. Let me fix that real quick. Caption. This is What's Up Dave. for 9/12/2017, Tuesday. There. Let's go back to screen. All right, so the latest blog post was this one. And let me just look at the conviction stuff. Having confidence. I know what I like, I know what I'm doing, I can trust my brain to solve problems. I don't need other people to tell me that. Let's copy this into this thing. That was confidence, right? Let's see if I can distill it. I know what I like. I know what I like. I know what I can do, and I know myself. I can trust my brain to analyze problems and find solutions. I don't need other people to tell me that. That's the essence of how I'm defining confidence here. Self-leadership. While I desire camaraderie on my entrepreneurial journey, the truth of the matter is loneliness is the natural state of leadership. Let's see. No one here can help me at my stage. So I'm going to express this as no one can help me. Being the boss is lonely. Because no one can help me directly solve my own problems. I know this sounds maybe a little bit, this isn't exactly true. I mean, sure, people can help you out, but ultimately you're responsible. Maybe that's what I'm trying to say. Only I am responsible for making my decisions. That's not quite right either. So in this, the essence of what I'm trying to say about self-leadership is that this was a reaction to realizing that one, like this desire for a community, the desire for people to work with on my goals has been very high on my priority list for the past 2 or 3 years. But it occurred to me very recently that this isn't going to happen. It's not something I can plan for, and it's not something that I have the time or energy to recruit for. Therefore, accepting the responsibility that my journey is essentially a lonely one, until I can make space for other people in it who are following my project. What I'm not trying to do is make a democratic project in which everyone is invited equally. Certainly it's open if the right collaborators come along, but to base my moving forward on the finding of these other people has just been a bottleneck for 2 or 3 years, and it's created a lot of, like I would say, like subtle emotional distress, like frustration, disappointment, this feeling that, you know, a negative cast on the isolation, the loneliness aspect of it. So I am going to say, how do I describe that? There's no one coming, or I can't predict. I don't know. I can't rely on. I can't rely on the perfect collaborator to share my to share the load of my personal journey. I'm trying to figure out how to phrase this concisely. I can't rely on the perfect collaborator to appear. That might be enough. I am operating in isolation. And this is a condition. This is maybe the natural condition of a certain kind of leadership, of well, actually, it is of all leadership. I mean, of the high level leadership. By high level leadership, I mean, as a leader, you can share things with people. You share what you need to know with other people. But you can't share everything with them. There is a distance. There's this lack of intimacy, I think. Perfect intimate inside collaborator to peer. This is natural in taking the leadership position, even for an army of one. So essentially the stuff that I want to do, that's really on me. I might be able to convince other people about what the vision is that I'm trying to do in the specific cases, but there is no one else at the moment, and it's unlikely to happen anytime soon, or in a predictable way, that is going to buy into my specific vision. Therefore, it's always me versus somebody, me and negotiating with somebody else. And so I can't rely on that support, that inside support. Insider support, that inside support is never going to, or is unlikely, or let's say will not materialize on demand. That's not to say that other people can help or help. The desired, any desired inside support I wish I had will not materialize on demand. Let's see, philosophical or emotional support I wish I had will not materialize. As much as I want this. In the interim, I must assume isolation in my command decisions. This is okay. Let me reframe. While I wish I had philosophical, perfect, let's call it perfect because that drives home how illogical it is. While I wish I had perfect philosophical and emotional support, it's unwise to make this a precondition for pursuing my goals, my aspirations. In the interim, I must accept isolation in my command decisions and opportunistically, but while keeping an eye out, for future collaborators. That's the essence of what I'm trying to say with self-leadership. And then conviction, having conviction to me myself, I know I'm doing the right thing. Now I've set the mantle of self-leadership. I can trust myself again. So trusting myself that I know I'm doing the right thing at the right time, to the best of my ability. So I'm going to reorder these actually. So it should be like this and then this. Conviction. I have faith. I know I make the best decision I can make at any given time, and I can trust myself that what I choose to do is not subject to the approval of strangers to my situation or to my aspirations. That's all conviction is. Let me rephrase this though. I can trust myself. What I choose is not approval. I trust my intuition and ability to assess. If there's anything I know how to do is self-assess. I always strive to make the best decision I can given what I know at the time. I know and believe is right at the time. Even if the decision proves to may look suboptimal, optimal in hindsight, I know I did my best at the time. And that's really all conviction is about for me. So these are better statements, I think. So the idea for closing chapters on closing chapters and projects. This is to reduce the number of dangling projects that are dragging on, or that are making my sense of productivity feel inefficient, of dangling that use up my mental energies. It's okay to close them. I guess it's like cheap Git branching. It's okay to close them. I'll trust myself to reopen them when I need to. I don't need to juggle everything at the same time just to allay fears that I'm falling behind. This is true especially in the absence of any real deadlines. In the absence of any metrics for performance. However, and thrashing around to feel like I'm doing something in small steps, in small scattered steps, is not a good use, not an efficient use of energy. I produce when I'm focused on one thing in the moment. Everything else outside of that, oops, am I still in the chat room? Let's see, Acorny, I'm streaming, I forgot I was in here. I'm gonna mute my microphone so you don't hear double stuff. Let's see, where was I? So outside, when I have too many scattered things to do, I'm not producing good work or making or feeling fulfilled or feeling that I am achieving significant projects. Significant. Alright, so I have rewritten these. The immediate goal is to close the video work. And the new, let's call it specifics. New website up in skeleton form. So, alright, so these are the current habits. Let's see, there is, in addition to these habits, there's the ongoing household improvements. There are media improvements. Well, let's just call them household office improvements. There's a certain number of social things, but I'm not going to put those in habits anymore. But this is the essential stuff that I'm worried about at the moment. Let me think about this. It's been about 20 minutes into this. It's kind of a pretty boring "What's up, Dave?" What can I do to bring this into something? I'm going to copy these statements here, and I'm going to put them into my Quiver notebook. This is a programmer's notebook that I use. Where is this? Where am I going to put this? What topic? Best practices? Executive modes. Let's make a new thing called the reboot. Week 9/11/2017. So these are some of the meta things that are going on. Meta. Closing chapters and projects. Just reformatting this. Here's another meta. Self-leadership. It's called embracing self-leadership. New meta. Confidence. Variation of confidence in myself. I know what I'm doing, can trust myself. These are all true. Meta conviction. Let's call this a statement of definition, or maybe this is more of a definition. Definition of conviction. What I choose to do is not subject to the approval of strangers to my aspirations. Those unfamiliar without approval to the approval of those who are not intimately familiar with my aspirations. There's plenty of people who think they know what I'm doing, but they have no idea. Um, this time. This is not to say that I'm open to receiving input for other people, but these are the core. This is really kind of almost a declaration of independence, I suppose, or it's a recipe for being a real jerk. But you gotta start with the core someplace. In a way, this is me pulling out my int j personality type, which I had put on the shelf a long time ago, in favor of my GUI INFP core, which is like all about meaning and values and hugs and kittens and unicorns and all that kind of stuff. That's how it feels anyway. The int.j stuff is like the shield and the sword that protects that. And I think I'm trying to bring it out in a less of a militant way. This is more of an internal approach. Okay, so now I have a few of these things. And we'll work on this document now. So let me summarize, because I'm getting to the 30-minute mark on this. I want to summarize this statement in the description of the video. So let's go back up here and think about what this is. So what am I trying to say here? So let me actually summarize. Day one I did what? I already forgot. In day one I need to look at the video description again. So if I look at this, and I said something, no, I just declared these goals and suspending. Day one declared intention to close projects / close chapters on as many things as possible. Suspend all habits, e.g. the gym, until next week, with the exception of the diet one. Declared 2 immediate goals: closing out the video work and getting the new website up and running, skeleton form, because these are bottlenecks. So, alright, so let me copy this over into my Quiver notebook too while I'm here. So this is day one. Day two. And let me just format this a little bit, so I don't have to duplicate some of this stuff. Let's do it like this. Markdown for the win. To complete. So I don't need this here. Suspended habits. Habits. Oops. That'll just happen. They're not dying, they're maintaining. subtract that. Diet. Maintain diet. I'm just kind of compacting this down. Alright, so this is what I decided today. This is, I guess today has been a clarification day. And so that's it. Right now, so what I want to focus on today, and my day has been starting at 2 p.m. Apparently I'm on Hawaii time for some reason. Okay. Well, Courtney says, likes the GUI NFP. Yes, it is. Isn't it nice? But that reminds me, for show and tell, I'm going to drink this. This is a Polar Seltzer Unicorn Kisses. This is the INFP side. Unfortunately, it's not sweetened. It sort of smells like, it has a nice smell. It's a little citrusy. Kind of smells a little bit like candy, like a citrusy candy, like fizziness. Someone described it as it may be smelling like a Pez, or tasting like Pez. It kind of smells like an empty Pez dispenser, but it doesn't have that tartness. It's really more fruity. It's like a little bit of strawberry, a little bit of watermelon. This is like, actually sucked that into my nose. It's really more of a taste sensation. But anyway, I was saying there's a whole bunch of stuff that to do this week. No, that's the old thinking. There's not a lot of stuff to do this week. There's only two things I'm focusing on. One, the video server project, what I'm going to get to next. The other one is the website stuff, but I'm even putting that off until next. Priority this week, let me say what that is the video server stuff. And then there's a whole bunch of crap in the house that I need to do. Let me do a quick roaming of that and declare what that is. So let me see if I remember how to do this. I need to switch to NDI, so I'm going to pull up the NDI monitor. NDI is a internet video over IP standard from NewTek, which invented something called the video toaster. If you're old enough to remember what that is, or know what an Amiga computer is. So what I'm going to do is, and I'm pulling up the NDI app on this. It's on monitoring NDI NewTek, and I had to make sure on the right network. And I'm not. Otherwise, this won't see it. Wi-Fi is off for some reason. Wi-Fi and my local network, which isn't showing up yet. There it is. So now I have the network going. And now we should be able to be on the right network for NDI to show up. So let me just show you what this window looks like. So this window, it's showing me I have, the iPhone is showing up. I'm running an application on here that has a camera on it. Turning off the microphone. And hopefully in time, something will appear. It's taking a while to sync, maybe. Why does this always take so long? It says it's recording. Is it on the network? There it goes. So now this is finally up. So you can't see this yet, but I'm going to switch to the NDI view. Here's NDI chat. Alright, so now I have third camera. This is the iPhone roaming around. And let's see. So here's what's going on with the rest of the house. I've been sleeping here. I'm not sure it's a good idea. But there's this thing I got. There's all these boxes I need to get rid of. This table's kind of a mess. But the main thing, household improvement-wise, is to get rid of these. These are Tupperware. And because I've gotten this is that VacMaster VP112S. This is a chamber vacuum sealer. And what a chamber vacuum sealer allows you to do, unlike a regular vacuum sealer that you might have seen that sucks air out, it actually will let you seal liquids. And it uses a different kind of bag that's much cheaper. So the idea is like I can cook a lot more things. I've been cooking a lot more because I've been on this Atkins induction diet, and I've been buying all these vegetables. I mean, there's all these vegetables down here. I've never bought this many vegetables in my life. I'm eating more vegetables like in a week than I have probably in a year. So there's just stuff to get rid of, and it's kind of dirty everywhere, and the clutter is kind of driving me a little bit nuts, but I think I can suppress this long enough to try to finish that video project. Cat seems to have made a litter mess. Yeah, so I'm a little bit dissatisfied with my workplace at the moment, so I would like to fix that. So that's where things are right now. And I've probably been going 36 minutes, so I'm going to shut this thing down. So that's been What's Up Dave for Tuesday, September 12th. Thanks for watching. Tomorrow we'll see how the day 3 of the reboot goes. But for the rest of the day, I'm going to just try to push on this video server project because I want this thing done. I spent 3 hours on it last night. Only about an hour of it was billable because I was just having to learn all this stuff and figure out how this piece of software actually worked. It's an unfamiliar part of it. So blah. My least favorite kind of coding. Although there is a glow of satisfaction once I figured out exactly what was going on. Although I keep thinking I figured it out before, and then discovered that I haven't. But trying to maintain a good attitude about it with very limited success. But today I feel better about it. Probably because it's just another day. So with that, have a good one, and I will see you later. Slate.